There's always this expectation of you, no matter what gender, no matter what religion, no matter what race you are, no matter what anything else you are, this expectation never changes. You're always expected to act like a good person. Now, what a good person is most people would argue, depends largely on interpretation. So does how much good is good enough. Some places, just doing good enough is what is expected. Other places, no matter what you do, you'll never be good enough. Some places expect you to cover up with your own. Other places deem it oppressive. During some times, it was considered morally upstanding behavior to not let those of a darker skin tone eat at the same table as you. But now those ideas are generally frowned upon. If you were a Viking in an ancient tribe, it was considered noble to make war. But if I go to my neighbor's kid and beat him up because he's being annoying, it's apparently called assault. We've gone soft as a race, and my court hearing is in 2 weeks. But what I'm trying to say is good is a spectrum, and so is how much good is good enough. Now, part of the reason for that is dogma. What is dogma, you may ask? Well, it's the thing you're not supposed to question, not publicly at least. It's the thing that's apparently excluded from scrutiny in progressive and not so progressive society. It's the thing your parents worry about if or when you start thinking for yourself. Not being questioned in public, however, is what gives dogma its power. And there's some people who benefit a lot from dogma. Some people in very special positions in countries. So you can see why these beneficiaries would see to it that these circumstances so favorable to it and them would not change. To give you an example, if you live in Pakistan, a country very close to where I live, questioning anything related to Islam is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous business. People have been killed for less, sometimes nothing. In the neighboring country of India, you could get killed for slaughtering a cow and trying to eat it, or just being a Muslim. In the United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, you can lose all your money, job, social standing, and respect of your peers just because you question why you're sending 30 billion to Israel every weekend. You're not supposed to question it. Or why Iran has been 2 weeks away from a nuclear bomb for about 20 years in a row now. What dogma thrives on is the cowardice of people. Cowardice that shows itself when they think they have something to preserve, something they love, something they care about. Dogma has ruled societies, countries, empires, span time zones through generations, and it is not through sheer luck, okay? People who benefit from said dogma have perfected the cunning trap of comfort. After all, it's not that difficult. You'd always take preserving something you love and care about over finding out or fighting for the truth. The truth is annoying, truth gets in the way. And why even go out of your way to find the truth if the dangers are mortal, Mortal to you, mortal to those who you love and care about, it just makes no sense. You can be safe. All you have to do is submit to the current generation of lies until they come up with a new one. The evil of inaction is far easier to commit than the evil of action, and it is far more sinister. One, because it is far easier to commit, and two, because you don't see it as much. And by see it, I mean notice it. The ministry of truth isn't in power because of sheer fucking luck. They are in power because they know how to exploit this weakness. Exactly how. Now, I very strongly wish that the reason why dogma has been so pervasive throughout human society and history, the list of reasons why, ended with, the powers that be. But unfortunately, that's just not true. It's not just the powers that be exploiting your weaknesses. It's also you. Yes, you personally are responsible for thousands and hundreds of thousands of deaths throughout human history. Are you ready to like the video yet? Or should I keep going? And now I'll tell you why you're responsible. People tend to attach their identity to a belief that they believe in, and then fight for it, ride or die style, like they're in the third fucking crusade for some reason. Don't do that, okay? Be open to accepting that. I'm not saying don't believe in what you believe in, obviously. Believe in what you believe in, but be open to accepting the truth when presented with it. Don't be closed off to the truth. Don't be defensive when you come across the truth. Please let the reason you believe in things be that you want to seek the truth and not because you also desperately need something to believe in. That's pathetic. A cause. Tribal as we are, we always need a cause, but please do some fucking research. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for much. Alright? Now that the utter woke nonsense part of the video is over with, I can finally talk about anime. Anime that inspired this video is called Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Now, I understand if you're not interested in any of that and want to click off after all the next episode of Skibbity Toilet won't watch itself, but before you go, I beg of you, please don't be a fucking coward. Seek the truth and see to it that you spread the message. Orb on the Movements of the Earth is an anime about, well, the truth. The niche it focuses on specifically is the heliocentric theory. In 15th century Europe, the good old days that so many people seem to want to go back to, you were promptly tortured, then executed. Should you be so unfortunate as to question the current model of the universe, which was the geocentric model? Presented by the church, held up by the church, the theory that the earth was at the center of the universe, and the big belief was that God just loves us so much that he put us at the center. Talk about our narcissism goes back centuries. God just loves us so much, he obviously put us at the center of the universe. That's the only thing that makes sense, obviously. So if you happen to question that, you were tortured, then executed, then your family executed, or anyone relevant related to the research. You know, on a side note, I wonder if any aliens ever do show up, or if we perfect AI to the level where it finds us no longer necessary. I wonder what our reaction will be, because you know, we are, for all our differences, we collectively believe that this planet belongs to us. You know, we're the big bad humans. I really wonder what happens once, you know, we will fight amongst ourselves until we all die if there's not a bigger enemy to fight. And when the bigger enemy shows up, I wonder what. Anyway, it's a tangent. Going back to the video. The anime talks about the persecution of anyone who's ever, specifically to the 15th century Europe, has ever talked about the heliocentric theory. And it spans a few generations of scientists who've researched the heliocentric theory. During the opening episode, you're introduced to this 12-year-old boy, Rafal, his name. He was, well, being generous, sociopathic. Extremely intelligent. He narrates over the story, telling us how he only views people as tools for his own greatness. And part of his story, and only his story matters, how he's fake kind to those less gifted than him to brighten up his own image, how his own foster father is only a stepping stone to his success. Like I mentioned, he's very smart. He enters university. He's supposed to enter university at the tender age of 12. So, you know, very smart guy. And he plans to study theology because theology at this time is considered a noble subject. And he wants social standing. So obviously he wants to study theology. Now, what happens is, unfortunately for Rafal, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, he gets introduced to this former heretic. You know, this guy they tortured for researching the heliocentric theory. And he needs a fresh pair of eyes because his eyes have been, unfortunately, tortured out of him. So he meets Rafal, threatens him at first. Rafal gets roped into watching the stars for him while he researches it. And when Rafal looks at the current model of the universe versus the model he presented, he thinks the guy presented, the heliocentric model, is far more reasonable. And here he has a choice, right? He can either, one, bury this and go back to fighting for his social standing, or two, fight for the truth instead. Rafal falls in love with the truth. He researches the heliocentric theory, and later we're introduced to Noah. Noah is an inquisitor. He's a mercenary hired as an inquisitor. His job is to torture people to give up information on where the research for the heliocentric theory is, so he can burn it, and then either execute the people or let them go, depending on how things go. Now, here's the thing about Noah. He truly believes he's doing God's work. Okay? he does not view himself as evil. He views himself as a very good person who's eradicating heretics and heretic research. The bishop told him so. We're shown the moments when Nowak tortures people. He does not view it as evil. He's not disgusted by it. He does not enjoy it. But to him, it's a job necessary to remove or reform these heretics. He views it as overall improving the world. It really is fascinating to watch because this thinking actually existed in the church when they were rampaging through Spain. So it is very likely that a real Nowak existed in history, or multiple. I think Nowak's character is no better encapsulated than this interaction he has with a boy. He helps a little boy get his cat out of a tree. Yeah. He then goes to a house. He has to get information out of this guy, and he plans to use the pear of anguish. Now, the pear of anguish, as the name might suggest, is not a very nice device, okay? You insert it into people's mouths or any orifice of your choice, and then you open it, and the device expands, eventually mutilating or killing your victim. So Nowak gets information out of this guy, and the kid, this guy is the kid's father. So the kid comes back home, and Nowak looks at him like, sorry, little guy, it's just nothing personal, you know. He doesn't look at him with remorse, by the way. Not at all. He just says, your dad shouldn't have done that research, I guess. Now, you know what the saddest part is? I know if this video goes up, there's at least one sick, twisted fuck out there who's typing in, buy pear of anguish into Google right now. I see you, bro. You make me sick. Now, there's a lot more that goes into Nowak's character and make him that way throughout the show, because this show, again, spans a few different generations. And Nowak remains the constant throughout he's young, then he gets a little older, then he gets a little older, as the scientists change. But for the sake of brevity and not making this a stereotypical video, I'm just gonna, cut to the chase. So, we go through a few different generations of heliocentric scientists becoming Nowak's victims. He's always on demon timing with these people. He never spares any. With this one scientist, Badeni, we're introduced to Nowak's daughter, Yelenta, who's also into research herself. Badeni introduces her to the heliocentric theory. I think you see where this is going. Nowak eventually catches Badeni, tortures him, tortures his friend Oxy. You know the drill. But now Nowak's daughter, she's also into the heliocentric theory. Nowak works for the archbishop of the church. The archbishop's son, however, hates Nowak. He's very resentful of him. When he catches wind of this, that his daughter is maybe, without any proof, maybe researching the heliocentric theory, he orders her tortured by Nowak's 2 disciples. Now, one of those disciples isn't really about all that. He frees her. But the archbishop's son doesn't tell Nowak that. He tells her that we burned her at the stake because she was researching the heliocentric theory. He shows her the burnt corpses of Oxy and Badeni to prove that they burned her at the stake. And in a sadistic move, he gives Nowak the glove of his daughter, saying that is the only thing he could salvage. Now, in my personal opinion, this should have tipped Nowak off. The guy's a smart guy. Like, this guy's been an asshole to you the entire time, and now all of a sudden he's a saint. But anyway, we move. The story moves on a few years, and we have a new generation of heliocentric scientists. There's this new rebel group called the Heretic Liberation Front. Their leader is apparently hunting down this book. This book contains paraphrased research, and it is written by Oxy. Now, Oxy deserves a full video of his own, so I'm going to keep a short on him here. Maybe he gets a future video. This anime is just so good, man. I think every character, including this the squadron leader for the Heretics Liberation Squad, his name is Schmidt. He also deserves his own video. So maybe Oxy and Schmidt get their own video. Even Badeni. Each character is wonderfully complex in this anime. Yeah. It's very refreshing to see something so good after a while, after the slop we've been fed the past few years. Anyway, the gang's plan is to mass produce the book with the printing press they have acquired. They take it to their leader, which, big surprise, is Yelenta. The Heretic Liberation Squad meet a woman named Draka, Remember her? She's going to be important later. Yolanta, as you will remember, is Novak's daughter. The church, which is run by the Archbishop's son now after he deposed with him, gets wind of the location of the leader of the heretics rebel group and sends Novak to exterminate them. Now, Novak initially, at this point, he's a drunk, okay? He says no, but when he learns about the heliocentric theory being involved to him, that's the theory that got his daughter killed. So now he's very motivated. His hatred of the heliocentric theory wins over the drunkenness. Now, when Novak and his goons arrive at the leader's location, Yolanta agrees to stay behind to give the rest time to escape. Novak, taking no chances, decides to blow up the leader. And after a big explosion, all that is left is a hand that is delivered to Novak. Mission successful. Now, Novak always keeps the glove Yolanta, the Archbishop's son, gave him, always on him, because that's the only memorabilia he has of his daughter. And you can see it in his eyes that he wants to try the glove on the hand. And you know why, but he doesn't. And we all know why he doesn't. He's scared to do it. He's scared to confirm what he already knows. Now, the Heretics Liberation Group, the squad, moves on to a new location. But because they have a traitor amongst their midst, the new location gets compromised as well. Novak arrives, the rest agree to stay behind to let Draka, the girl, escape. Draka has actually burned the book. She has a very good memory, so she can recreate it word for word. Don't question it. Okay, I didn't question it, just move on. You see, dogmas. Draka happens to have met the Archbishop's son, and she understands that he's a man of practicality. A man of practicality and profit, instead of religion. Now she goes to the Archbishop's son to propose, the former Archbishop's son, to propose that they print the book and split the profits. It takes some convincing, but the Archbishop eventually agrees because he doesn't believe religious tyranny has a future and he only really cares about money and power. Novak shows up, and when he asks them why they're working together and how it's blasphemy to even research the heliocentric theory. Again, in his mind, the theory that took his daughter's life, the former Archbishop's son asks him if he knows that the Archbishop, former Archbishop, actually studied astronomy himself before he declared it evil to research, before he declared it a heathen practice. It was quite possible, therefore, that the reason he declared it a heathen practice was not religious, was because of personal hangups. And what's funny is, yes, manipulative cons have been calling people insecure to get what they want, even back in the 15th century. Sometimes correctly, sometimes incorrectly. Anyway, Novak's reaction to that information is, fuck you, I'm burning the church down and I'm killing you. He tries to kill Draka as well, but he gets mortally injured in the process. Now, as he's lying down next to the statue of Jesus in the church, and he's hallucinating the 12-year-old boy that decided to take his own life instead of giving up the truth, he tries the glove on the hand. It still fits perfectly. And as he lays there, dying, drawing his last breaths, he wonders if all that human suffering he caused was really for a noble cause. He realizes only too late that he might have been in the wrong after all. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.